Good morning, students. Today I am going to teach you the basics of computer. This is regarding to the chapter 1 of class 11 CS. Okay. Now, first of all, I will tell you the introduction of the computer. As you all know, what is computer? The computer is the electronic device that under the control of the instructions stored in its memory that can accept the data as input and process the data according to the specific rules or programs and produce the information as output and stores the information for the future use. So we can say that the computer is the electronic device which takes the data as raw material, process the data, and after processing converts it into the information and provide the output to the user either in the form of the soft copy or in the form of the hard copy. Okay. Then what is data and what is information? Data are the raw material which we have to send to the computer. Okay. And information when the data is processed in the computer, after processing it is converted into the useful data which is known as information. Okay. Now, functionalities of the computer. What type of the functions computer is doing? Okay. First of all, computer takes the data as input. Without input, computer is a dumb machine. Okay. Then next, it stores the data or instructions. What it have to do. These are the instructions. And what input is given to it. It is the data. Okay. Then, so we can see that it stores the data and instructions. And then it processes those stored data according to the instructions. And then it output the then it generate the output. Okay. All the above steps are controlled by the computer. Now, the basic functionalities of the computer, or the we can say that the functional computer of the components of the computer. Okay. Computer is made up of these functional components. Okay. It is also known as the block diagram of computer. Okay. For this we can say that computer is divided into into the units. First one is the input unit, second is CPU, third is the storage unit, and fourth is the output unit. Okay. Now this one, I already told you that computer is the dumb machine without the input. We have to provide the input to the computer. Okay. If we didn't give any input in the form of the keyboard, through the keyboard or through the mouse or anything any other device, through any other device, then computer will do nothing. So for processing, we have to provide the input to the computer via any of the input devices. Okay. This input reaches to the main memory. Okay. It is the part of the storage device. Okay. Main memory and the secondary memory. It is known as main memory or the primary memory, and auxiliary memory is also known as the secondary storage or secondary memory. Okay. The input reaches to the main memory. This all portion is known as CPU or the central processing unit. It is consist of the control unit and arithmetic logic unit. Okay. Control unit controls all the working of the multiple programs, as well as it controls all the programs running within the computer, whereas arithmetic logic unit performs two types of the function. First one is arithmetic functions, that is plus the functions regarding to plus, minus, multiplication, division, etc. And second one is logic unit which logical functions which performs the logical operations. Logical operations may involve the logical gates, or it may involve the what to do after this instruction. All these things are done by this unit. Okay, that is why this portion of the computer, CPU, it is known as the brain of the computer, because all the things are controlled by this portion of the computer. Okay, so now the input is provided to the computer. It is present in the main memory, along with the input, instructions are also provided to the computer, which also present in this. According to the instruction, control unit and arithmetic logic unit instruct the computer to perform the certain operations. The intermediate data at the time of operation resists in the main memory. So main memory works as the platform during the processing. It works as a platform for the input, as we can say that for the data. It works as the platform for the data during the processing. Okay, after processing, we may need the output. It is provided in the if we want the output in the form of the soft copy, it may provide through the monitor or through the speaker or any other devices. I will tell you after some time. Okay, or the data, the processed data or the information may be stored in the within the computer. Okay, if we want to store that information in the computer, then it is stored in the auxiliary storage or the secondary storage device. Okay, and if we want to send the output to the user, then where several output devices are used. This is the functionality of the computer, or we can see that this is a block diagram of computer, which is consist of input unit, output unit, output unit, CPU, and secondary and storage unit. Okay, unit, what is the meaning of unit? Unit is the collection of the same type of the devices. Okay, input unit is the collection of the several input devices. CPU is collection of control unit and ALU. Storage unit is the collection of main primary memory and secondary memory. Output unit is also the collection of the several output devices. Okay, now classification of computer. Okay, now classification of computer. Computer is it is the actually classification of parts of the computer. Okay, we can see that the parts of the computers are divided into the two main categories. First one is the hardware and second one is the software. Okay, hardware is the tangible part of the computer, whereas the software is the non-tangible part of the computer. Now, what about the tangible and non-tangible part of the computer? Tangible part, it means the part we can touch is known as tangible part. We can touch keyboard, we can touch mouse, we can touch CPU. All these are the parts of the hardware. Okay, now software, it is the non-tangible part of the computer, but it is quite important. Without software, all the hardware is inefficient to run. Okay, so the software is the non-tangible part of the computer, which is necessary to run the computer. There are three types of the softwares. First one is the system software, second one is the application software, and third one is the utility software. First, system software. System software, it consists of these subtypes. Okay, actually previously, the system software are those software which are mandatory to run the computer. Without the system software, computer is a dumb machine. It cannot do anything. Okay, then the system software, categories of system software. First one is operating system, next one is the language processor, then the device driver, and the BIOS, basic input output system. Okay, now device driver, I will tell you about the operating system and language processor after some time, but till now, then I will tell you about the device driver and BIOS. Device driver. Device driver are those software which are necessary to install in our computer to run a particular device. Suppose we want to run the we have taken the new printer and we want to run that printer through our device, and we have to install the device driver of that particular printer in our machine. Okay, and the basic output input output system. Basic input output system is the system through which the computer takes the input at the previous stage until it even not have the operating system. Okay, this is used to boot the system. Okay, now the second one, operating system are further categorized into categories. I will tell you more about the operating system after a short duration, as well as I will tell you about the language processor also after a short while. Okay, now it's time for the application software. Application software. I have already told you that the system software are the software which are mandatory to run the computer. Without the system software, the computer cannot run. Then application software. Application software are those software without which the computer can run. Okay, these are not mandatory to run our computer, but these are mandatory to make our life easy and is more favorable according to the environment. Okay, now there are two types of the general purpose application software. There are two types of the application software. First one is the general purpose application software, and second one is the specific purpose operating system application software. Okay, I will tell you after some duration about this. I will also tell you about the utility. Okay, now classification of the hardware. I have already told you about the classification of the software, but hardware was remained until now. So now the classification of the hardware. Hardware, I have already told you that the hardware is the tangible part of the computer. It is classified into the three parts. It is first one is input devices, second is output devices, and third is storage devices. Input devices are further categorized into two categories: manual data entry devices and direct data entry devices. Manual data entry devices in which the user have to enter the data. Okay, for example, keyboard, mouse, joystick, etc. These all devices are those devices which takes the data from user and then send to the computer. Okay, whereas it means user have to send the data manually in this type of the devices. Okay, next one is the category of input devices, that is direct data entry devices. In direct data entry devices, the input is not given by the user manually. It is recorded in the form of the information which is already present. It may be scanner which takes the information input in the form of the document, or it may be barcode reader which takes the information in the form of the barcode. It may be OMR or OCR, etc. Okay, these all are the direct data entry devices in which manual data entry is not sufficient. Okay, now output devices. Output devices, the devices which are used to send the output to the user either in the form of the soft copy or in the form of the hard copy. These are known as output devices. There are several output devices such as monitor, printer, speaker, headphone or plotter, projector, microfilm, etc. Okay, third one is the storage device, which is the category of the hardware devices. Storage devices which use to store the data in the within the computer or or externally store the data. Okay, some of the storage devices are, you may look the CDs, DVDs and hard disk drive or flash drive, etc. Flash drive means pen drive, and floppy drive. These are outdated storage. Okay, now basic computer organization. I have already told you about the input unit and output unit. Input unit to which the data enters in the computer from the outside world, and the output unit through which we can take the data from the computer. Now control unit and arithmetic logic unit, I have already told you. Memory This one is remained. Okay, memory. The collection of cell structure of memory. The collection of cell each with the unique physical address is known as memory. Okay. If we want to explain memory, it is the collection of cells. Okay. In this, this one is the cell, this one the first cell, this second cell, and so on. Okay, this is the address of the cell, and this is bit position of the cell. So if you want to store the data, it will start storing from from the bit position 0 to 7 and so on. Now basic computer, the memory units. Okay, memory units. The I have already told you that the data is stored in the form of the signals or the bits. Okay, so I want to say that the data is stored in the form of computer understandable format, which is in the form of bit or byte. Okay, the smallest unit in which the data store is known as bit. There are several other units through which we can store the data. Okay, so if we want to store the data, there are several units according to our facility. The smallest unit of the data is known as bit, which is represented by B. The next one is the nibble, which is collection of 4 bits. Byte, which is collection of 8 bits. Kilobyte, which is collection of 1024 bytes. Megabyte, which is collection of 1024 kilobyte. Gigabyte, which is collection of 1024 megabyte, and so on. You can see this table and the representation through which these of the units are represented. Okay, now RAM and ROM. Okay, RAM, random access memory. Now we are telling about the storage device. Okay, storage devices. First one is the primary storage device, and the second one is the secondary storage device. Primary storage device, that is the main memory, which is the smallest in the size and quite fast than the secondary storage device. Okay, main memory is volatile and the secondary memory is non-volatile memory. Now there are two portions of the memory. First one is RAM and second one is ROM. RAM is random access memory, in which we can access the data from any of the location. Okay, and second is read only memory. In this memory we cannot access the data from any of the location. The location is fixed in it. Okay, RAM is volatile, whereas ROM is not non-volatile memory. Then what is the difference between the volatile and non-volatile memory? Volatile memory, if you are doing some work and the power cuts off, RAM will erase the data which is present into it, whereas ROM will not erase the data. Okay, that is, volatile means if the data erases during the power cut, it is volatile, and if it didn't erase the data at the power cut, at the time of power cut, it is non-volatile. Now I have told you about the primary memory. Now it's the secondary storage devices. Secondary storage devices, as the main memory or the primary memory is quite smaller, we cannot save all the data in it, so we need the secondary storage device. Okay, previously magnetic tapes were used, but these are sequential access device, and these are just like the CDs. Sequential access device means these are just like the tape cassettes. Okay, cassettes in the earlier days, in which if we want to access the data, we have to pass the data before it. Okay, for example, cassettes, if we want to listen a song, we have to pass the songs previous to it, and if we want to again listen the song, we have to rewind the song. This is the type of working is known as sequential access. So in the magnetic tape there was a sequential access, and the data was stored in the form of electromagnetic. Okay, Nowadays, there are a large variety of the secondary storage devices contains the hard. Okay, hard disk. It is the important secondary storage device. It is the set of stacked disks. Okay, it is the disk which contains the stacks of the disk. Okay, each disk has the data recorder magnetically in concentric circles. Okay, these are the concentric circles data stored in this, and these circles are known as tracks. These circles are further subdivided into pie shaped structure. This is known as sector. Okay, this is the read write head, which this is the read write assembly which contains the read write head, which are used to read the instructions of particular track and sector accordingly. Okay, there are several types of the hard disk. First one is a parallel advanced technology attachment. Second one is serial ATA. Third one is the small computer system interface, and the next one is the solid state drives. Solid state drives are also the example of pen drive. Okay, now there are several input devices, as you already know. Keyboard or mouse or scanner or OMR or OCR. You know, keyboard, in keyboard we have to press the keys to send the data to the computer. Through mouse we use the mouse to point and drag and drop facility, and through scanner we can scan the documents and send the data to the computer. Okay, through OMR, optical mark reader, it is used to check the answer sheets in which the answers were in the form of the marks. OCR, optical character recognition, this is the device which read the printed text. And MICR, magnetic ink character reader, it is used in the bank to read the checks. Microphone, it is the input device which is used to read the data in the form of the voice. Okay, webcam, which sends the captured image to the computer. Okay, graphic tablets used to drawing used as a drawing tool. Trackball, it is upside down mouse which is used to play games. Barcode reader, which is used to read the barcode which is present in almost all the things, all the registered things such as stationery or any of the thing of the kitchen item, etc. Gamepad, it is also known as joypad, and it is the input controller of the video games. Joystick, it is also used for playing the video games. Okay, now the output devices, I have already told you about the output devices. There are important, some of the output devices are monitor, speaker and projector. In monitor, the data is sent to the computer, data is sent to the user in the form of the soft copy form. In speaker, we get the data in the form of the sound. In projector, we get the data in the form of displays on the wall or screen. Okay, along with it, there are several other important output devices such as printer and plotter. Okay, printer and plotter provides the output in the form of the hard copy. There are some of the devices which acts as the input as well as the output devices. These are some of the example of the such type of the devices are. First one is the USB drive or pen drive, which through which we can send the data to the computer, or we can send the data in the USB drive from our computer. So it is the input as well as output device. Just like that, facsimile or fax machine, it is also output device, input output both device, because it contains scanner to read the data and printer to provide the output. Okay, modem is also the input output device which takes the data from the computer to convert it into the to convert the digital signal into the analog, and at the destination it also takes the data from the environment, such as environment or from the telephone cables to convert the data from analog signals to digital signals. CD and DVD rewritable are also the example of both input and output device in which we can send or take data from it. Okay. Touch screen, it also act as input output device because it provides us to it gives us platform to enter the text as well as enter the input, as well as it provides a screen to screen as the output. Okay. Headset, which contains microphone to take input and speaker for providing us output. Okay, these are the examples of those devices which act as the input as well as output devices. Now, development of computer. There are several types of computer over there. First one was the abacus, in which the addition was performed on the basis. It was the first one type of the computer in which the addition or subtraction was accomplished easily and speedily. And after that, the Napier's bones were invented, in which the bone rods of the counting purpose were there, and there were some numbers printed on the rods which are used for addition, multiplication, subtraction, etc. After that, the Pascal's calculator was invented, which was the adding machine, and represent the position of digit with the help of the gear in it. Okay. Then Lamb's calculator, it was invented in 1671, and it could perform the various calculation based operations. Okay. Then analytical engine, it was invented in 1833, and it was just the first machine or first mechanical computer machine. Okay. Charles Babbage invented this type of the analytical engine, and Charles Babbage is also known as the father of computer. Now, basic computer organization, generations of computer. There are several generations of the computer. First one is first generation computer. Duration of this computer existence is 1944 to 59, and it uses vacuum tubes. Second generation, this duration used transistors. Third generation, 1964 to 75, used large scale integrated circuits. Fourth generation, 1975, very large scale integrated circuits. Fifth generation, these are under development. After this, these are under development, and these use artificial intelligence based computers. As we go downwards, the size of the computer reduces. Efficiency increases, cost decreases. Okay, because in first generation computer, the vacuum tubes were used, which occupies the space of a room. After that, transistors were used. It takes less space and quite efficient from the first generation. Then the large integrated circuit chips, large scale integrated circuit chips were used, which are IC chips. It is the starting of IC chips. Okay. Then the size decreases. Then very large scale integrated circuit chips used, which reduces the size accordingly and improves the efficiency of the computer. Now, software. I have already told you that the software is classified. Software is the non-tangible part of the computer, and it is classified into the system software and application software. System software, those software which are necessary for running the computer. First one is operating system. Second one is utility program. Third one is language processor or language translator. Okay. Now, application software which are not necessary for running the computer. There are two types of the application software. First one is general purpose application software, and second one is special purpose application software. Now, what is general purpose application software? General purpose application software are those software which are created or which are developed without any request of the user. These are created as per the general survey, and it is created for the large population of the user. Okay, example of such type of the application software is word processor spreadsheet, etc. Okay, now special purpose application software are those software in which the user instruct the vendor to create a software according to its need. Example is web browser, account management, or bank management, etc. Okay, now I will tell you about these system software. I will target on this, and I will tell you about the system software containing operating system, utilities, programs, and language processor. Okay, now operating system operating system is the system software which acts as the interface between the user and hardware. Okay, several examples. Without operating system we cannot run our computer. Example of the operating systems are Microsoft Windows, Linux, Mac operating system, etc. So we can say that user sends the request to the computer, and this through the this software. What software is this? This is application software. Okay, this is application software. User send request to the operating system in the form of via application software. Operating system interacts with the application software and sends the request of the user. Accordingly to it sends the request to particular hardware. For example, if I want to print a document, 2 copies of that document, then I am the user. I send the instruction to computer through the word processing system to print the particular document and make the 2 copies. Operating system takes the information from the application software, that is word processing software, and it looks after the hardware. What hardware is using here? It is printer. Then it sends the request to the printer, and printer prints, and operating system give instructions to the printer to print the particular document and make 2 copies. Okay, and as a result we get the 2 copies. Okay, now functions of operating system. There are so many functions of the operating system. First one is the processor management, second is memory management. Processor management, program processes are the parts of program. Okay, next is this is processor management. Next one is the memory management. Operating system allocates or deallocates memory for the program execution. Next one is device management. Operating system communicates and controls various input as well as output devices. Storage management, it manages and controls the storage devices to provide the space to a program and execution for the execution and saving of data. Okay, now application interface. Operating system also act as an interface. How? It provides application programming interface, or it provide the driver for various type of application programs. Okay, now user interface. I have already told you that the operating system act as the interface between the user and the hardware. Now types of operating system. There are several types of the operating system. First one is the single user single task operating system. These were now outdated operating systems. At initial time, a single user single task operating system were used, in which if one task is given to the computer, it completes it first and then it takes the next task. If the task, if any other task which is urgent, we assign the computer, then it stops the working of the first task and then it starts the second one, and after completing second one, then it starts the first one. Okay, next is second single user multitask operating system. Single user multitask operating system, multiple tasks can be done on this operating system, but user is only one. We can perform multiple tasks simultaneously. Okay, uh, example of single user single task operating system was DOS. Example of single user multitask operating system was Windows 95 or later version of the Windows. This is the operating system due to which we can complete our work, as well as simultaneously we can listen or play the music, etc. Okay. Multi-user operating system. Multi-user operating system, as the name suggests, it is for the multiple users. Okay, multiple users are allowed to access the same data and information at a time via network in this type of the operating system. Example of this type of the operating system are Unix, Linux, Windows 7, etc. Okay. Now next is multi-processing operating system, the operating system which uses multiple processors in it. Okay, multiple processors used in single operating system means means the operating system is quite efficient than the other categories of the operating system which we have read first. Okay. So this type of operating systems were quite efficient, and example are Linux, Unix, Windows 7, and the next generation operating systems. Okay. Now embedded operating system. Embedded operating system, these operating systems were embedded in the inside the machine, other devices or other machine. For example, if we use a washing machine, we set the timer and the machine stops according to the time. How? Only because of the embedded operating system. Okay. Now distributed operating system. In distributed operating system, cooperation with each other is possible. Okay, they handles the job which are served by the multiple CPUs located abroad each other. Okay. Now language processor. Okay, language processor or programming languages. Okay. Now in language processor, what is language processor? Language processor is also a system software which is mandatory to run our computer. Why? Because the user input the data in human understandable format, but computer understand the data in the binary format or in the 0 1 format. So to execute the data, it must be converted into the 0 1 or in the machine language. Okay. So this work is accomplished by the language processor which are necessary for our computer. Okay. There are three types of the language processors. First one is the assembler, second is compiler, and third one is interpreter. Okay. Assembler is the language processor which converts assembly language into the machine language. Okay. Now compiler and interpreter. Compiler and interpreter both are the language processor which converts high level language into machine level language, but the type of conversion is different. Compiler reads the whole page in one go, it finds the error and tells the user about the error at the bottom of the page along with the line number. Whereas interpreter read one line, it reads the code line by line. If any error encountered, interpreter stops working. It halts the program. Okay. Until we have removed the error, it halts the program. And after removing error, it works accordingly. Now it's time for the application software. I have already told you there are two types of the application software: general purpose and specific purpose of application software. I have already explained. I think it's quite sufficient. Now it's time for the utility software. Utility software are those software which are used for the housekeeping functions of the computer. Housekeeping functions, which the functions which computer performs on the daily at daily durations, it is known as housekeeping functions. Then what are the utility softwares? Example of utility softwares in our computer are: first one is the antivirus, which runs every time when it's needed. Second one is the compression tools. Antivirus is used to remove the viruses from the computer. Compression tools are used for the compressing our data, or making the data of the small size, so that we can utilize the less space. Okay. Now next utility software is disk cleanup, which is used to assist the user to freezing of the disk space. Okay. Next is disk defragmenter, which is the disk management utilities, which used for the partition of the disk. Okay. Now backup utility, which save our data for the future use. File management tools, which used for the browse or search or update our files. Okay. Now memory unit. I have already told you this. I think it was quite sufficient. Data is stored in the form of bits and bytes, and several units of the memory are used. I have already told about this thing. Okay. Thank you.